Okay, I wanted to start a project. We're doing one magazine project, Elle April 21st. So, the way that I do my magazine collage is I go through until I find something that really strikes me. Oh, that's a fun outline. But I go through until I find something that really strikes me to be the focal point of my project. And then I go back. Oh, look at those glasses. Those are amazing. I may keep that for my faces project because it's already kind of on a funky face. Unless we find a really good face that's smaller, that we can put those giant glasses on. All right, so we've got already some, we have already got some really good jewelry and things like that. I wonder if we could do a fun one where we make them all out of, this very stinky magazine too. If we make them all out of perfume bottles. All right, she has red hair, or pink hair. All right, I would have to find more faces that are smaller. This one's not good because it's turned. I like her though because she's a normal face. She's a cute face, turned. Not a big enough face. All right, let's keep going. This isn't a very big Elle magazine. The old Elle magazines went on forever. All right, so that's a good one. Made in Manhattan. That's a pretty good face. All right. That's out of... So that's a good face. Oh, I kind of like that. A bunch of them are out of focus. Ooh, this is really pretty. I kind of like that. Illustrated look. Look at this. Okay, so we are for sure going to use these illustrated ones for something. Those are so cool. Wow. Wow, that's neat. Okay. I don't love that one as much. I mean, for a different project. Okay, so now I'm almost seeing an underwater thing, right? Where we could do this guy underwater, and these be the bottom of his lily pad. Okay, work with me here. And this could almost be a starfish, right? Let's grab that for a starfish. Okay. And now I kind of need a deep sea diver. Let's go back to the beginning and see if we can find something that looks like we could do under the sea. I like her very much. Ooh, look at how pretty those Rolexes are. I know we're not shopping, but I like them. All right, so under the sea. There's a seashell. There's a seashell. Look at those. Okay, we got some sea stuff going on. Now I'll have to remember to cut those out of the back. All right. So let's keep going. That could be a pearl, right? I mean, it is probably a pearl. Let's see. We have to see if we can find something She could almost look a little mermaidy. This looks a little mermaidy. Do we do a mermaid tail? Do we make this a big one, like a 2-page spread? I'm gonna pull this out because I almost think we could draw a mermaid tail on her. Okay. I'm not the best drawer. Okay, here's water. Okay, we're gonna take those two. Okay, can we make anything we have so far the head of the mermaid? Nothing, nothing. She's the mermaid. Okay. I really like what we got going so far though on the underwater thing. Too big, but that's a good idea. I know I kept creeping further to the right. You're like, you're creeping further to the right. All right, weird little birds. Oh, people in swimmies. Huh. Since we're going illustrated, maybe we do that instead. Right? Those could be our girls. All right, let's keep looking. This could be a fun one, because I can't imagine we're going to find enough heads for those 3 girls. Okay, so 1, 2. It's too bad we couldn't find the same heads for that girl. It's the right size. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut all these out, and we're going to come back and start. Okay, so we're working on our One Magazine Elle Challenge, and we picked out some papers. I'm going to keep that there in case I need to find anything else to go in here. And I did have to pick out some more things last night, so here we go. This is what I have come up with. So those are the pieces that I have cut out so far. This is, hold on, I'm using a Grumbacher mixed media 12 by 9 pad. And these are kind of cool because you can put them back in. I don't know if I'll be putting them back in, but that would be a really neat way to make an art journal. So first things first, let's go ahead and get some of these papers down. So I want to put some of these, use your words. I want to put some of these patterns, papers down. And these are just patterns I got for 29 cents at the thrift store. And that was in the Hospice Thrift Store Challenge. Okay, if you're following along with our $5 challenges. All right, that's a fun one. These are fun ones. There's some good, ooh, look, there's a little telephone. Or your computer. Look what the computer looks like. Is that awesome? And what email looks like. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, and I just got a new set of silicone brushes. So the one I've been using has kind of a dip in it, right? Because it's actually for your face. They're makeup sponges or makeup brushes. So it would go like on your face and do really well. But then I saw this one that has no dip. So that one has no dip. This one has no dip, and then it had little brushes. Now, I don't know what the heck that's for, but I don't keep things that don't make sense to me. So, if I ever needed a giant moon on my artwork, I will be sad, but I don't really see it happening. All right, so we can actually do this time because we're going to be using lots of Mod Podge on this. Okay. So let's go ahead and start gluing some of these down. And functionally what I want is I want layers of just different colors. So when we put the different layers of these patterns down, they're gonna make different colors because there's gonna be extra layers of it there. Okay. And I don't want this to take my whole day. I only get so much time to art, so I am doing this part super, super, super fast. There we go. Let's do one more, and then we can Mod Podge over the top. Okay. See how when we put the different layers of the patterns over each other, they turn different colors? Okay. Oh, here's a nice big one. You thought when I poured out all that Mod Podge, you were like, oh my gosh, she's never going to use that much Mod Podge. But when you put it on top too to seal it, that's when you, oh, look at that, such a good piece. This is going to be excellent. I think this is going to be a super fun one because this is not a cheap supplies challenge, which I've done a bunch of them lately. And I like doing them because I have really found some composition rules that I now follow. I have found some really cool things that I think are going to be important to my art when I take away all my gizmos and my expensive supplies that I can use. Honestly, that having been said, I love using all the stuff I get. So I cannot lie. I like using my gizmos and my stuff. All right, so I used matte Mod Podge for this. Now, I could have used glossy Mod Podge, I feel like. And it was just because it was out here. So, people ask me all the time, can you use gloss Mod Podge with that? Usually, yes. Can you use matte Mod Podge with that? Usually, yes. Can you use gel medium? Usually, yes. Gel medium is less water-based, and so it won't make wrinkles as much on some of your things. So that's why some people use that. Let's go, let's go. Cool. I love what this is doing. Well, we have a volunteer. We call those volunteers at my house. Anytime anything raises its hand, it's going in. And you'll notice these are not all perfectly straight, which will cause some, you know, you'll get some different colors and shapes and stuff in this background. I feel like, while I love that, I feel like it's kind of jumping out at us rather than settling in and being a background. So we're going to put another layer over there. And because there's wet Mod Podge underneath it and I'm putting wet Mod Podge on top, see how it just knocked it down a little bit? And I'm putting wet Mod Podge on top of it, it is going to stick. So, you don't have to be so precious with Mod Podge. Okay. And we will... Do we need another little layer down here? I feel like this is looking a little plain compared to everything else up at the top. So let's just get one more layer. Another thing I like about these brushes, and I do want it to be flat-ish. Another thing I like about these brushes is it's almost like the back holds a little bit of Mod Podge on it. Interesting. This is fun. Okay, so there we go. We got that done. We're going to put this aside. All right, so I am working on my Elle magazine Under the Sea collage from the Elle April 2021. So these are the things I have. All right. And I'm gonna kind of lay this out real quick and see what I like. Okay, so this is gonna be my kind of mermaid girl. And I love this. And then we have her head with her hair. And so this will cut off, so I'll just have her glasses. And if we do this, because I want to cut off a bunch of her. And then just put my sea creature over here to kind of do that transition. And then we have her hair. We gotta get her hair up over her head. Okay, nice. And then this could go down here. It could go somewhere in the middle. This could even go up if we do a border at the bottom. Okay, so then down here, I have some really cool grass that I kind of feel like goes down there. Ooh, he could go over top of her glasses. Oh, I love that. Kind of pull her in. Okay, okay. I want to keep her face right there, right? Like kind of in the hole. Because then I can do stuff up here. I don't know if I love that. We could do this. And then I have some really cool things to go up here, okay. Do we do this upside down? Put those in there. And then this crown type thing over her, okay, so I'm for sure doing that. This crown thing on her glasses, for sure. All right, then I have a starfish. So maybe that goes down here. Keep all the gold kind of, oh, I like that. Keep the gold down here. And we can put this that is kind of sort of the, like we can kind of get them to go up there. So if we tip her up here, because I want this to be real dark. This is going to be dark and brooding. I think I don't need this one. I kind of feel like I have enough going on here. I was thinking I might want to do some, you know, like land and sea kind of thing, but I think this is going to be all underwater. So let me start this by I'm going to make some paper dolls. So I'm going to make this paper doll first, right? I'm going to move this over here because I always do better when I start my paper dolls. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to get her hair on. And I can make it long and flowing now because I don't have to worry about having it sticking off the top, right? So I'm going to glue this on. I'm using Nuvo glue, my favorite kind of glue. And I haven't glued down her glasses yet, so we're going to work on that. But, uh-oh. And I do want this hair to go over her face. All right, now we need our scissors. Because I don't need this side of her face. Okay, I do not need that side of her face. And I do not need this side of her face. Got a little aggressive with my cutting there, but that's fine. Okay, so we are gonna put 4 of these back here. I literally just, oh, there it is. I was gonna say, I literally just had 4 of these. Okay, let's see how far down this goes quite a bit. Okay, so, yeah, we'll start right about there. Making our paper dolls. And I make paper dolls because I have found it is much easier for me to make people like this and then stick them onto my collage than to try to make the collage on the mixed media paper or in the book or wherever I'm doing it. All right, don't worry, that tonic glue will disappear. Okay, so now, do we only need 3? Guess we only need 3. Okay, so we have this. Ooh, that looks really cute. Look how pretty that is. Okay, now let's glue this one down. Uh-oh, I glued all over it, and I only needed to glue part of it. Okay, oh no, I did need to glue all of it. Okay, so we're gonna go right down to the edge of that. There we go. That is cute. All right, now we can glue her glasses to her hair because we know right where it's gonna be. Okay, there's that. Let's glue this. And I just started coloring my hair and it could be pink this weekend. I use that overtone. It's purple right now. See? Purple. It only works, I have really dark hair. It really only works on the parts of my hair that are gray. All right, so now we've got, okay, I like this little curly. Yeah, this is definitely the one over here. And it's going to be over top of here, over top of her. Both of the, okay, these are going to be the top layer. I know I sound astounded as if I didn't understand how my collage was working. My own collage was working. Okay, so now we need to, I want to get her ruffly bits standing out more on this bathing suit. All right, I need to know where my snips are. I don't know where my little scissors are. I'm really not that good at these. Oh, there's my snips. Okay, let's not mess this up because we don't have our snips. Hi, I'm Tara, and I am a snip addict. Okay, I'm gonna make this her shoulder for right this second. There we go. I think all magazine collagers should have to take anatomy. No, I'm just teasing. Okay, so there we go. So we have that. Where's her head? There's her head. Ooh, that's cute. Do I want something on top? Do we like that? No. Ooh, I don't know if I like that. Do I like that? I kind of love how sparkly this is. Do I want to, oh, I want to go up one more with these. That's what I want to do. I felt like it was a little flat, so thank goodness. Although I do think I have a couple more of these. They're the insides of the jeweled starfish. But that will be just perfect. That's what I needed. I needed just a little something more. Okay. So, okay, so these are things we have. We have this. that could be coming off of here. It could be coming down from the top, right? We have a bunch of different places. It could be coming from the side. We don't need all of the underwater grasses for sure, and some of them don't have tops. No, I want her head to be straight. I want it to look funny. Okay, so maybe it moves over a little bit. All right, now all right, is he in the back? Then I can put my seagrasses over here. He's in the front. Ooh, that's it. That's it right there. Okay, he's in the back. All right. So that goes there. For sure, she is in the back, and I am doing her, okay, her boob goes over the 6062. And don't worry, we're gonna finesse this. Okay, there we go. And if you don't want glue all over your collage, don't glue over your collage. Now we have to do this back part. This is a lot of glue. All right, the reason I like the Nuvo is because it has never once gotten stuck in there. Even when I've left it open. I did have one time because I'd left it open for like a weekend. I had to put a pin in it to get it going again, and it took a wee minute, but it has never stopped coming out. And I swear there are so many kinds of glues I love, but I can't get them to come out of the little hole once I forget and leave them open, right? I understand that's my fault, but I can't just keep throwing away glue because I'm not capable of shutting it. And I can see where the glue makers would be like, what? What? That's ridiculous, but it's true. Okay, let's see. Let's put this up here. I think I kind of wanted that more down. Okay, we're gonna put this more downish. Do we just want to put it on and then figure it out? Let's do that. The undersea wildlife is kicking my butt. I should maybe have cut it into a few more pieces, and now I have so much Mod Podge on my hand, I can't even push it down, or glue on my hands. Whew, that was a close one. I thought my piece and I were gonna become as one. All right, now we put her down. Okay, I want her to go all the way to the top. Go. There we go. There we go. She does look very cool and hip. All right, now we have our octopus over here. And we have our starfish. And we have these weeds. Okay, I really want to be able to see where the bottom of her is. This is why we can't have nice things, because we cut our wet glue with our scissors. Okay, there we go, sticking everybody down. Okay, so we have our guy, love him. And we have a starfish. I do think he's kind of down here in the gold area. We could almost use him to manage that kind of weird transition of her hair. Ooh, right there, right? Yes. Okay, that's great. Here we go. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Excellent. Love that. And now we're really focusing on the wrinkle. You're not noticing that she has a strange shoulder, because right now she's cool and hip, dark and brooding. I think that could get a little trifle bizarro. And I don't want to, so I hardly ever worry about messing something up, but I love these octopuses. Octopi. So in my head, this story is the Little Mermaid story, right? So we got our octopuses under here. Octopi. She is the Little Mermaid, living under the sea. And I knew one of these legs didn't have glue on the end. Across his little tentacles. Okay. That is really pretty. All right, I can tell there's a spot here we're not stuck down. And now we have our grass. So I think for sure I am just going to use the grass that sticks up, because I got plenty going on. Is that too? I don't think that's too much. I don't think that's too much. But I'm not going to go over his little cross tentacles. There's our little thing we use to push down since we can no longer use our hands. Okay, just a little bit of seagrass there, and then I have a tiny bit of seagrass for over here, and then we are done. Well, we're not done, but then I'm done gluing, and I'm gonna do my outlining and shading and all the stuff I do, and then I'll come back and show you the very end. But for me, that's the fun part. So one of the reasons I did this was I really want somebody to take the Elle magazine. Usually I use magazines that are not current or that are harder to find, but this one's at the newsstand. And I was hoping somebody would take the Elle magazine, take whatever they think is cool out of it, and make a collage with it, and we'll see how our different collages work, right? All right. Okay, so I will be back once I've done my doodling. Okay, I am up and at it super early to finish this page because I have a day full of stuff to do. A couple things I want to talk to you about. I started making her fancy hair. We had just kind of the plain red hair coming down. And I'm here to tell you, when I first did it and then I made this part, I was like, oh my gosh, I have ruined it. It looks terrible. And then I just kept putting layers on and putting layers on, and it started looking so much better. And I love how it turned out. I think that it looks beautiful. We're gonna do some embossing today, so we're gonna put pink over this pink. But before I get to the embossing, and I have all my embossing stuff ready, because we're gonna do some gold too, pink and gold. Let me get my pink out. Let me get my embossing tray out. I got all my stuff there. Oh, I need my embossing pens. Okay. But before I do that, I want to kind of do a little bit of contrast. So my daughter asked me what these things were, and she couldn't tell what they were because they were, they're almost the same color as the background, right? So what I'm gonna do is I am going to do some, and I'm gonna use a very fancy palette. This is my Coke bottle top palette. I am going to, I thought I just got a paintbrush out, maybe I didn't. I am going to, oh, I need a stiffer edge than that. I am going to put a little bit of blue in here. And I have to apologize, we're gonna have dogs barking because the lawn guys are here. And I am going to use Dr. P.H. Martin's Bombay ink. If you don't have India ink, you could use glaze with some acrylic paint that would make it translucent, because I want it to not be like blue. I want it to be very, very clear, glazy, light, still see the stuff behind it, okay? And I am going to use my fancy water cleaner to dip my paintbrush in, okay? So I'm gonna put my Bombay ink in here, and there's probably something in there in my palette. I got my paintbrush wet, and I'm just gonna put a little blue behind here. See how, because my paintbrush was wet, the India ink is clear? That is what I'm going for. And I don't know that I'm gonna paint all of it behind, but because it is an under the sea page, I don't mind having some blue for contrast, and blue and yellow are complementary, or are not complementary colors. Blue and yellow make green, so they are colors that are on the weird three ways of the, get a little bit more water. Okay, so this is background. And India ink is cool. It is maybe my favorite kind of art supply, if I only had to pick one, because the black outline is also India ink. It is Pitt pens, and that is the reason I like it is because it's water soluble when wet, and then it's permanent when it's dry. And I prefer to have permanent layers on my collages. I know some people like using distress and sprays and things like that, but I like mine to be permanent because I do so many layers that if it isn't, I just mess myself up a lot. Now you'll see that is already going away and drying out, and once it dries out, we won't be able to use it as much. All right, so I'm gonna do under the sea for sure, all down here. I just don't know if I'm gonna do that top part, because then maybe we do the, oh, remember we, at the start, we were like, okay, maybe we do sand at the top and sea at the bottom. This could maybe have accomplished that kind of feeling that I started with. All right, and we're just gonna put a couple drops. Now, this India ink, you think, oh my gosh, it's a little expensive, and it is a little expensive, but it lasts forever because you use a dot of it and you can spread it around. And Wally is telling us there are people in the backyard, and I never yell at him for telling me that there are people in the backyard, because I don't want people in my backyard except for when they are doing our lawn. So, and before you think I'm all sheeshy and stuff, we had to have people doing the lawn because neither my husband or I are very excited about doing the lawn, and we live in a subdivision where if you don't do the lawn, they send you nasty grams, and then they're just mean. We have a very interesting subdivision. So anyways, let's just get this on here, and I think I am gonna leave that top part without being painted. All right, I really love that. I think that added to, it made the, oh, yeah, it made the octopi pop. So now we are going to do some embossing. And I'm going to start by embossing her hair with pink. And I decided, so before I would do embossing underneath and then collage and embossing, but what happened was, especially when you're using a detailed one like this, I wasn't able to get all the embossing powder to melt, and so it wound up getting into my design, and I didn't like that very much. So now I emboss on the top. Okay, so this is my good embossing pen, and this is my bad embossing pen. So we're going to start, and the embossing powder I'm using is called Distress Glaze. And the way embossing works is I'm putting a glycerin from this embossing pen onto this this magazine sheet with lots of paint on it, right? Acrylic paint. And heating acrylic paint is not your best thing. It just isn't. You shouldn't heat it to dry it. But because this glaze is so thin, it doesn't, you don't have to, you don't have to have it go super long with the heat to make it work. That's my good one. All right. So the reason why I'm doing it in stages is because in embossing, when you put the embossing liquid down, okay, you have a period of time that it's open, right? That you can still put your embossing powder on it. And then if you don't do it, then it won't stick to your project. Once you've gotten the embossing powder on the sticky part, you can wait a very long time before you heat set it. And when you heat set it, you're actually just melting. This is a bunch of plastic pieces. You're just melting the embossing powder and making it a solid again, or then. Okay, let me finish this because this is a big spot. Oh, so the reason why I told you that I hated that one part when I first did it is because I think you need to hear that partway through any project, it looks terrible, right? Like no matter what you're doing, it just looks terrible because you're not done, right? So I like to remind you that there are many times during my process that I think, oh my gosh, I have ruined it. This is never going to work. I have completely destroyed my piece. And then come to find out when I got done, I was like, oh my gosh, I absolutely adore how this came out. Now, I showed my family. And if you get embossing liquid anywhere you don't want it, rub it off, dry it off, and then it won't show up. Now, the other thing about this one is this kind of embossing powder is it's translucent. So the nice thing is, as it goes over my black lines, I don't have to be very careful. As it goes over my black lines, it might make them a little bit shiny, but it's not going to turn them pink as it would if I had an opaque embossing powder. Oops, forgot I put some extra down there. All right, we're gonna put this on here. We're gonna tap, tap, tap. Now, here's the thing. I am going to get a brush with a kind of stiff, fine point. There we go. And I am going to take this embossing powder off of everywhere I don't want it. Because embossing, if you can see embossing powder, it is going to emboss and turn whatever is there, like that whole little bit of her face, would turn pink. Right? That's just how embossing powder works. So if you can see it on your project, just know that it is going to emboss, whether it's stuck down or not, right? Because we're gonna melt it and then it's gonna stick. So you might think, oops, darn it, it'll be all right. We can do it again. All right, we got some here. I call this sweeping my embossing. I know there's probably an actual embossing term for it. But for me, what's happening right now is places where I might have some glue, where there's a little edge or a ridge, it is getting hung up. Okay, so now you want to pour your embossing powder back in. Now don't be skimpy when you're doing your embossing. Put it all over because it doesn't matter. You're gonna pour it right back into your jar. And if you're thinking, oh my gosh, she used so much embossing powder, I just actually mixed it up with a different color one time. And so I had to throw it out, or not throw it out, I used it, but, uh-oh, there's a big part. There was a bad embosser up here. Boop, boop, boop. All right, that is gonna be fine. And then I'm gonna hold this further away than normal. I could even do it from underneath. Okay, so I used the color called Kitsch Flamingo for that. Okay, this is one of the new distress colors. And it just, to me, so I am such a huge fan of embossing. I literally adore it. I am actually going to... I'm going to put some green on that one. So this is peeled paint. So anytime I want to make things pop out or have a little bit more dimension or color, I use the Distress Embossing Glaze because it is translucent. So I am putting color in, I'm putting shine and gloss in, but I'm not hurting what's underneath of it. Okay, so I'm just going to put it like that. I'm going to tip it into my embossing tray. People always ask about my embossing tray. It is like $7, and it's really for people who do beading. Do not use your sleeve to clean up your embossing. It's really for people who do beading. So they put all their little tiny beads in there, and then they can tip them back into their box. But people always ask me about it, and it is $7 on Amazon, and I will put a link to it. It is maybe one of the things that I love most in my craft room. Okay, so that's going to be good. Okay, see how that just made it a little deeper and richer? Okay, I'm gonna, oh no. This is where I turn and I just start embossing everything, but I'm gonna emboss her crown. And I want my one that's got a better tip, my fine tip. I'm sure that Rangers, whose embossing pens I'm using, is like, please do not think every tip looks like that. Okay, I may do 2 layers on this one because I'm gonna do this one in green and then I might come back when I do the blue. But let's do this. So we have a lot of green where it shouldn't be, right? If you just kind of touch it, it's gonna come off because it's not actually held down by anything, right? Because her glasses are dark, I don't think it would really show up that well, but it would show up as glossy. And then I have this super bright blue color I'm gonna do on the blues and then over top of this. All right, this is my good one. Maybe I'll just do around the edges for right this second. There you go. And that last color was Broken China. Now, if I wanted the jewels on his legs to be a focus, I would highlight those too. But I actually, at one point, I do have a brown pen that I was thinking about covering up the jewels, but I thought it would look really, really weird. Okay, now let's talk about the difference between, okay, so let's talk about the kind of embossing powder we're using now. So this is opaque embossing powder. This is super old, and I apologize if you can hear the leaf blowers, but I'm running out of time, so I have to do it. Okay, so this is opaque, meaning you will not be able to see through it. And for this, what I want to do is I want to use these two stamps to make designs over top. Okay, so I'm going to set this down right here, right there. I'm going to push it with my block, and it'll pull it up. Okay, so we're going to try this kind, and I need to do it over my embossing tray because I'm over the edge. This is Zing from like a million years ago. So to give you an idea, it cost $1.99, and most embossing costs $5 now. So it was probably 8 or 9 years ago that I got that. Okay, here we go. Put this aside, put this aside. Let's heat. Okay, so that's pretty. I love that. All right, let's do a couple. I'm going to do 3 of those on here because it's best to do things in odd numbers. So I'm definitely going to put one down here. And if you want to figure out how to use stamps, follow the card making girls, because they use stamps all the time, and because they're not mixed media, they want to have perfect stamps. And I would recommend Jennifer McGuire. She's excellent. I will put a link to her channel here. And what I'm kind of doing is I'm sort of covering up issues I don't like. So I didn't especially like the way the bottom of that looked, so I just stamped over it. Remember I was saying about his, the golden, or the silver, the diamonds there? What I'm going to do with this next step is I'm going to cover a little bit of those up because I'm going to be able to put some gold on here. So let's see if we can get this one to stick. That one finally stuck after the end. And this is a world map stamp. I don't know if they sell any of these anymore. I don't really keep track of my stamps. So this one I'm going to put kind of in here. This one I'm going to put up there, not quite at the edge. And this one I'm going to put down here. And I went with the gold because I already have gold in here. So this time I'm going to use, this is a current embossing powder. This is ultra fine embossing powder from Ranger. I don't think embossing powder goes bad, to be honest with you guys. I mean, like, it's a powder. Now, I'm going to have a bunch of sweeping on this one because I poured it all the heck over. All right, so we can kind of see our map. I guess I should get my tray back. So I'm just trying to get to the edge of that map. This one's a little bit better, and if it had a little bit here and there, I would be fine with it. There's a lot of it on her body, and I don't want to. I love this little ruffly bikini thing. All right, I see a lot up here too. So there's a lot on her glasses. Now I did go in with a paint pen and paint gold around the edge of her glasses last night for 2 reasons. Number one, I thought it was pretty. And number two, I had painted or Indie ink pen over the edge, and so I had to fix it. Again, my whole process is fixing what I messed up. Where is the lid to this? So I'm with you. I like buying all the new products that come out, but don't forget, you can use anything that you already have. I've had a bunch of gals tell me that they're staying at a grandmother's house, or they're staying here or there, and they only have a few things. In that case, look at my simple collage ones. You don't need all this stuff. Do not use your sleeve to wipe off your art. So I think she's done. I love how she came out. I think she looks gorgeous and beautiful, and I'm calling it. Hopefully that helps. Tara Jacobsen, Artsy Fartsy Life.